Hello friends, we're going to try something different today. We're going to make a round rug with two different kinds of ropes. Never done this before, so we're going to wing it together. So what I've done, since I want my seam on the outside of my rug, I put the two puffy sides together. I got maybe about an inch here. And the whole idea is to go around and then bring the other one around and just keep going, so it's kind of like a spiral. One row will be green, one row will be sunflowers. So I pin them together here to kind of get me started. Got my machine set on my zigzag stitch. That foot's not going to work. Thought I was all set up here, but I was not. That foot will work. Okay, try this again. We're going to learn how to do this together because I have never done one. Let's see what happens. Get rid of that pin. Get rid of that pin. So we're just going to sew down the middle of that seam. We're going to get the white rope out of the way. We're going to work with the green rope first. So we're not quite to the end yet, so we need to start scrunching. I might have waited a little bit too long. Let's backstitch a little bit. There we go. Give ourselves some room. We're going to start with the green. And this is going to be tricky because you're going to be fighting two ropes. But remember, we want to keep this flat right here. So we got to scrunch a lot of rope in there. And, oops, turn it. Let's put that needle back down. It turns a whole lot easier. Keeping it flat. Keeping it all flat. Keep turning, keep going slow. Remember, we want to keep this flat right here. I'm just going to see how it works. Oops, I missed. Go back a couple, make sure we got that. So what happens now is once we get up the side of this white rope, then we have to switch. We have to switch out so that we bring this one around now. So we're going to cut those threads. It's going to be tricky. I watched videos, see if we could figure it out. I think we're going to figure it out. Okay, now we're going to work with the white rope. Now we scrunch it around just like we just did the green one. See how much I have scrunched in there? See all them ripples? We got to scrunch a lot to get it to come all the way around and to keep this part flat right here. So you just got to go slow and keep turning. Slowly turning. Now this is going to get a whole lot easier after it gets bigger. But you just got to be really patient for right now. Patience wins. Just keep turning. Keep the green rope out of the way. Keep turning. Get that thread out of my way. Now we can go, with the white, we can go all the way around, and then we'll have to stop and do the green again. So you want to make sure you got enough scrunched in there so that this is good and flat. Gonna be tricky, but I think we can do it. And I started with 1 inch because we want it to form out to be a round rug. This lady picked out her fabric and she said she wanted a round rug. So see how much I have scrunched in there? I don't know if you can see it real well with that sunflower in the way, but the point is to keep this flat right here. So if I just try to sew that, this is going to buckle up. So you want to get enough scrunched in there so it's nice and flat. And I think the 2 ropes will stay out of each other's way. Of course, it's going to be a lot easier when we get bigger. Just kind of push it back there and keep it out of the way. Gonna be tricky. I have my seam on the outside because the fabric is so much easier to work with that way. Okay, now that I'm getting a little bit bigger, I'm gonna open up my width a little bit. Just think it looks better if you start off smaller. Just keeping it all flat. That's the name of the game. Making sure this stays really nice and flat. And if you have to scrunch in there to keep this flat, then scrunch in there. All right, now I'm gonna cut this one. We're gonna go back to the green. See what I mean about being tricky. You got a lot to work with here and a lot to keep track of, but you can go cut those little threads off later. Now we're gonna go back in here to the green, and I did not back stitch there, so I'm going to stitch over that a little bit to secure those stitches. I think it'll be okay. I'll just start back here a little bit. Oh no. Oh no. And of course nothing can go perfectly. We all know that. My thread broke. I don't know what happened there. I have an automatic threader on this machine, but I don't know how to use it. I've never known how to use them. I've got several different machines, and I've never been able to figure them out. So we do it the old school way. All right, let's try that again. I don't know what happened there. This machine doesn't usually do that. So we're going to back up here so we can secure these threads. All right, let's try it again. So see how much I have scrunched in there, and this is nice and flat. It's gonna be tricky. It'll be tricky keeping track of all the different ropes we got going on here. And remembering to scrunch, and it's just a lot. I don't know. We're gonna see. And it's gonna get easier as it gets bigger. It's just a whole lot of patience right now. So we're gonna got a piece of fuzz. We're gonna scrunch in some more. So this is nice and flat right here. This is really nice fabric to work with. Some I had in my stash. I don't know about all these ropes and all these threads, and this is a lot. But see how nice and flat that is? Let's get him out of the way. I don't know, there might be a trick to this that I don't know about, but we're gonna figure it out. One step at a time. Okay. She's looking good so far. I'm gonna have to untangle myself next time I stop. Change. Because look at all this mess behind me here. Let's get that out of the way. How's that going to work? I'm sure there's secrets I need to learn, but you guys are learning with me today. We'll get it figured out. It looks really good so far. Gonna be a spiral effect. Oopsie. Let's keep going. See what happens. And if there's somebody watching this that knows something that I don't, feel free to chime in. So now it wants to curl up back here because I'm not scrunching enough. And you'll get around that corner, but the next row, it catches up to you. So you want to make sure you got enough scrunched in there to keep that nice and flat. Nice and flat. I think I'm going to start back stitching too when I stop. Just to keep my threads intact. Now my machine allows me a setting. I can, when it stops the needles down, I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing at this point. When you're turning around the corners, it's a great thing, but switching all this out, I hate all these little threads. They make me crazy. All right, so see how I got myself in a wonky jam here? Let's try this. Let's do this. Now we're gonna go back to the white. And I'm 100% certain this is gonna get a whole lot easier as we get bigger. I just feel it. So now we're gonna go back to the white. Get going on that. I debated whether to put it together with cream thread or the green. And I opted out on the green. Okay, so we want to scrunch here. We want to keep this flat. We'll see how much I have to buckle up in there to get that to lay good and flat. Come on around that corner. It's gonna get easier. I just keep telling myself it's gonna get easier. Keeping it nice and flat. I don't know. I like the way it looks so far, but pretty tedious. But I didn't have enough of the sunflower fabric to make the whole rug, so she wants a big one. I guess every now and then you're just going to have to untangle yourself. All right, we want to keep this flat. So we got to scrunch in there. I don't know. What do you think? I like it. I like it a lot. Let's get rid of those threads. All right, let's do a little bit more here. Untangle ourselves again. Here we go, getting all wound up again. Gonna be pretty tedious in the very beginning, but I think it'll work itself out. I think. You know how when you watch a video of somebody doing something, they make it look so easy. Well, that's what happened here. Lady I watch, I'm like, oh, that looks really simple. It's a lot of hands in there to keep everything the way it should be. All right, I'm going to keep going and keep untangling myself, and I will come back when it gets bigger to show you how much easier it's going to get.